I'm back with another update. Before I even get into that, let me just tell you, I meant to do this yesterday, and I felt like so much crap yesterday. Unbelievably bad. This is the first day that I don't know if you want to call it morning sickness or what have you, but it was rough. I don't have any vomiting, but the nausea was all day. Like, from the moment I woke up, my head was just, swimming, spinning, whatever. And then from that point on, it was just all day. Like I said, all day. And I went to work, and it's like I was so tired, like unbelievably tired. I mean, I hadn't slept well. I haven't been sleeping well, which is apparently also a symptom of being pregnant. Not everyone has it. Of course, not everyone has any of these symptoms, but a symptom is sometimes not being able to sleep. So I can go to sleep, I just can't stay asleep, and I toss and turn a lot. And so, I didn't sleep well. I got up. I was dragging. I forced myself to do some yoga that morning, though, because I thought maybe moving around, getting the blood moving, maybe I don't get as much of an endorphin rush from yoga, but I still wanted, so I did that. I shouldn't have. It didn't make me feel worse. It didn't make me feel any better. But then throughout the day yesterday, I just felt like I cannot do this. Seriously, I was just like, okay, this is too much. And like I said, I hadn't even been vomiting, but this ill feeling all day. And then, weird, and I thought maybe I was coming down with a cold or something also, because towards the end of the day on my way home from work, I started to get chills. And yeah, I'm in New York City, so it's cold. But I have a really good coat. I have a really good winter coat. And I'm usually actually hot in this coat most days and sweating. And so yesterday was cold, but it wasn't, 10 degrees outside. So it was very odd. It's odd for me to be, cold, but I was just having chills. Not necessarily cold, but having chills run up and down me. I was just like, oh my gosh, is this like the flu or something? I didn't know what it was. I ended up going home and just pulling everything off and going into bed and getting into bed. But I was so done, and I was just by 6 o'clock, I was pretty much knocked out. So yeah, guys, I don't know. I mean, more power to each and every woman out there who has done this multiple times, but even just once, because this is crazy. I mean, I know each pregnancy is different, even for the same woman, each pregnancy is different. I know my mother, she has 3 kids, and she never had morning sickness, not with any of us. So I guess I didn't inherit that gene or something, but yeah, so that's where we are right now. On Tuesday, so today is Thursday, November 29th. On Tuesday, the 27th, I had my first ultrasound. And that it's weird because I would have counted it being exactly 6 weeks that day. And that was based on the count from when I was going to get my blood test and my HCG blood test. They were like, oh, today you're whatever, so many weeks, so many days each time I went. So I was using that count. But then when I did the ultrasound, they put on there that I was 6 weeks, 3 days. So I think she counted the 3 days from the 3, since we did a 3-day transfer. I think she added those 3 days. It's the only way you would get six weeks in 3 days. Otherwise, it would just been 6 weeks on the 27th. So I don't really know how you're supposed to count this. But so as of today, I'm either 6 weeks 2 days or 6 weeks 5 days. If you want to add those 3 days from the 3 day transfer, the 3 days that I guess the embryos were sitting in the lab or something. So I really don't know how you count it. But anyway, so that's where I am now. So it throws off my count. But I guess once I finally get an appointment with an obstetrician, I have a little more certainty on the date the count we're gonna go with. But so we did the first ultrasound. Like I said, it should have been exactly 6 weeks. Everything was fine. They were able to hear a heartbeat, but a heartbeat, only one. So they only saw one baby, which I was actually very disappointed about. It's weird. I'm all over the place, so don't think I'm crazy, because I'm all over the place every 2 seconds. So I was very disappointed. One, because my HCG levels had been a little higher than what they were expecting, or higher than I guess higher than normal, because HCG levels range. It's such a wild range for them. But they were higher than what they were expecting. Instead of doubling, they were, quadrupling every 2 days, or more than quadrupling every 2 days. So it seemed like I would have thought it would have been more than one, and we transferred 2 embryos. But at this point, they were only able to see one. It is early. And I was a little disappointed about that, because I kind of wrap my head around what if it was more than one. So I think I started thinking that way, and then they only heard one, although they only saw one heartbeat. We have yet to hear it, but we just see the little flicker on the screen. There's just like a little flicker that is the heartbeat. So that's what we had, and everything looked good. It was the right size. She said it measured at 6 weeks. So I don't know. I guess anything could happen. Maybe there could be a hidden twin, but I'm not really thinking that. But I do feel, so I was kind of disappointed about it. But listen, if this is what one feels like, with me feeling all crazy the way I am now, like, so the symptoms have been, I just told you about the nausea. I haven't had any vomiting, but I'm not quite 7 weeks. So I don't know if I need to expect things to get worse, or I don't know. I have indigestion a lot more. I know that could be a symptom. I feel this bloating and my lower abdomen, and I've pretty much been working out consistently since I was cleared to. I haven't really been eating any differently, and a lot of times I have been eating less just because of the nausea. But I feel this bloating and almost a swelling in my lower abdomen, or in my abdomen period, I guess. I have a dress on today. I pretty much wear dresses, which I think might help me throughout this period, because dresses are a little more forgiving than pants. So hopefully I don't have to buy a whole lot of maternity clothing. But I have a dress on today that had a zipper. It kind of wraps at the waist, and it zips up in the back. And when I went to zip it up, it felt tighter. And I don't think this is in my head. Like, it could be, but I was like, why is this dress, the zipper, feel a little, I mean, it went up, but I just feel, why does this feel a little more snug? I had weighed myself last week, and I was actually down 2 pounds from when they initially weighed me during the IVF treatment. But I don't know what I'm at right now. So, I'm telling you, this is just a lot. I've, more sensitive, my nose is more sensitive, so smells do affect me more. more so with the nausea aspect, going back to that. Smells that I used to think were nice. It's not that they turn my stomach, but I'm just kind of like, oh, you know. I got my eyebrows threaded yesterday, and the lady who was threading them, they could have to get really close, and she didn't smell, but just these. Everyone has a natural odor, or scent, I should say. Odor sounds offensive, and I mean her scent. Initially, when I sat down and she was over me, I was just like, oh, you know. So I find myself with so many things now, just like, oh gosh, the smell, please, you know. So between the smell, which triggers nausea more, the nausea even without smells, the indigestion, the swelling in my abdomen, which makes me feel a little uncomfortable, and I'm thinking, isn't it too early to be feeling bloated and swollen? I mean, especially for one. If it were two, maybe I could see. But again, I don't know. This is my first rodeo, as I've said before. So maybe this is how, you know, I react, or at least how I'm reacting to this one. I don't know if there's ever going to be another one, though, because the way this is feeling, I'm like, oh, to do it again? I don't know. And what are my other symptoms? I kind of feel sometimes like I'm all over the place. So this pregnancy, I don't know if it's agreeing with me too well. But, you know, I'm hanging in there. I'm trying. I have a long way to go. My doctor did finally, he called me after he got the ultrasound results, of course, saying everything looked fine. That they were going to, I have to come in tomorrow for a so they can test the level of progesterone in my blood. And then if it's fine, they're going to start weaning me off. So that's the way that my doctor does it. I know some doctors stop cold turkey. He's going to start weaning me off. So hopefully in, you know, a few days I'll be off of the progesterone. So he said if it looks fine, then they'll go to, instead of, I'm doing 1 milliliter or 1 cc, so they'll go to a half and then maybe stop. I don't know. But tomorrow I'm supposed to come in and get a blood test done for that. And then he also told me to start looking for obstetricians. I have not yet been released, but I guess soon they'll release me. He said the obstetrician will probably want to see me within the next 3 weeks. And so, you know, that's where we are now, which is exciting, but it's also, like I said, I have a whole range of emotions, because every day as I start to feel a little more bloated and a little more weird, I'm like, my life will never be the same. And that is, you know, I try not to focus on it. And my husband, he's like, yeah, but let's think of all the great changes and all the ways that it'll, you know, all the fun stuff we have to look forward to. And I'm like, yeah, the fun stuff. That's a great way to put it. Fun, and because, you know, I'm the one feeling like crap. So yesterday I had chills. I was nauseous and hungry all at the same time. And I'm like, it seems weird. But after resting yesterday, I felt better. I feel better today. I'm not saying I feel like, you know, great or normal, but I feel better. I'm not as nauseous. This is like a mild underlying nausea, but I'm not as nauseous as I was yesterday. At least not yet. Knock on wood. So I'm hoping it'll stay that way. I bought the Preggy Pops, but I ordered them from Amazon, so I haven't received them yet. They're on my Prime membership, so I should be getting them tomorrow. And I'll let you know how those work. So far it's been saltines, ginger ale. I've been drinking tea. I'm getting ready to drink some lemon and ginger tea. Maybe that'll help. You know, small meals throughout the day, which was normally what I would do anyway, so it's not a huge change for me. I was never a 3 meal a day person. So, but you know, I'm not really eating, and I do feel like I'm getting bloated. So, you know, I don't know. I guess I have read that regardless of what you eat for the first trimester, you know, the baby gets their nutrients from you through the blood and your egg sac or egg yolk sac or whatever. And, you know, you just eat what you can, and it'll be fine. But either way, this baby is clearly going to grow because, like I said, it's just very early on, and I already feel like my dress is fitting a little tighter. So we know going forward, I won't be wearing any ones with the zippers. Will just be the stretchy ones. And I'm trying to hide it as long as I can. And I mean, I should be able to, at least for the first 3 months, you know, before I have to tell people at work. But I'm thinking, how long can I push it before I make an announcement at work? Can I wait till I'm 6 months? I don't care if I'm showing. Like, it's, you know, how long can I push it? But because they can't ask you, so we'll see. So yeah, ladies, I'm struggling right now. I'm going to add an update because I left a picture from the ultrasound. They did give us a picture. I left it at home, and I wanted to show you. So I'm going to add that to this video a little later on, and hopefully I'll feel better. Oh, and I forgot to add another thing. Another symptom is shortness of breath. Like, I get just, you know, climbing upstairs, things like that. Like, I'm winded a lot quicker. So nausea, sensitivity to smells, the extreme fatigue sometimes, the indigestion I'm feeling, the bloatedness, and the, wait, what did I just say? Oh, the forgetfulness. I heard that's a thing that people can have as well. And also being winded. That's what it was. So, shortness of breath. So, that's where we are right now. And I will definitely keep you posted, as I go through this wonderful journey of pregnancy. I am definitely being sarcastic. So, please pray for me. And I will do the same for you. And I will talk to you all very soon. Hey ladies, so I promised I would come back and show you a picture from the first ultrasound. But I also wanted to talk about, and this is probably irrational, but whatever, the fact that I'm still really disappointed that there's only one baby. And I know I should be grateful, and I am, and thankful, and I am. But I also feel a little bit of a loss. I mean, I had, if you watched my prior videos and you've been on this journey with me, thank you, first of all. But you also know that I was very disappointed by my egg retrieval results. I had 6 eggs, but only 3 were mature. 6 eggs that were retrieved, and only 3 were mature. And of the 3, all 3 fertilized successfully, so that was great. But 2 were transferred, and the one that was not transferred, they kind of put in a wait and see category. So they were watching it, and if it had survived to the 5 days, they would have frozen it, assuming it was suitable. And they honestly didn't tell me. I had to inquire about it. So when I went for one of my HCG blood tests, I asked about it, and that's when they said, okay, well, it wasn't suitable. So I guess it either didn't survive or they destroyed it, or I don't know what happened, but for whatever reason, I didn't ask. I didn't think to ask at the time, and I just tried to move on. But I was a little saddened by that because it was like a loss. You know, I know it wasn't a baby, but it was a fertilized embryo, so it was living, and it was mine, and it was, you know, it didn't survive. It didn't make it for whatever reasons, and so I felt like that was a loss. And then they transferred my remaining 2 embryos, and I feel like for there to only be one means that the another one didn't survive. So that's another loss. And I know it's not like a miscarriage or anything, but it still makes me saddened that the two didn't survive. The initial one that I'm talking about, and then the one that was transferred. But one did. And I need to be thankful about the one that did. And like I said, maybe there's a hidden twin somewhere. But I feel like in that case, it would have to be identical, which still wouldn't be have anything to do with this other embryo. So, because I think that's how that usually works when it happens. But anyway, but yeah, I'm kind of in a grieving mode for that embryo that was transferred that didn't survive. And but I need to move on. But I feel like it doesn't invalidate the fact that it was a part of me and my husband, and it was living. And I wonder why it didn't implant. It could have been genetically have genetic abnormalities. I mean, that could be a factor. That's why most don't believe that's the most common reason. But I am somewhat disappointed about it, because I have like an attachment to each and every one of them. So for the three, I was kind of like, my three, and maybe I felt so attached to them because there were only three. Maybe if I had the 15, 20 that they had told me that I should have, maybe I wouldn't feel so attached to each and every one of them. But because there were only three, I felt attached to each one of them. So for one of them to not be frozen because it wasn't viable, and then for one not to, not to implant. I guess that's what happened. It's pretty disappointing to me, because they're like my little maybe babies. But for the one that is not a maybe baby, so here's her picture, or his, but her picture. As you can see, you can kind of see the little thing in the middle that looks like a snail. I think it looks like a snail, but that's it. So that's the one that we're banking on. That's the next future president of the United States. But that's not an accomplishment now. I mean, clearly anyone could be president of the United States, but maybe this one will be an astronaut. That's still a pretty big accomplishment. So, thank you for bearing with me. And, my emotions, like I said, are always all over the place. And yeah, I'm happy for this one, but I'm going to still take the time to, hopefully not too long, but to grieve the one that didn't make it, because I mean, once I'm further along in this pregnancy, I shouldn't be thinking about that anymore, I hope. But I am saddened by it. But there's the good news, the little snail baby that is thriving and is apparently very healthy as far as what they can tell. The numbers look really good. So so I'm glad about that. And I will keep you posted as we continue along.